Good morning! Happy Thursday, guys. We are on day 4 already. Can you believe it, right? You're probably like, okay, we are finally going to make a plan. Yes, we are finally going to make a plan today. So let's talk about routines a little bit. If you have ever tried to make a routine before, maybe you've gotten frustrated, maybe you've tried to add in new activities and it just didn't work. Like my usual routine of making routines, that didn't make sense. My usual process of making routines is that I'll see a routine that somebody else is doing, right? Like I'll see a podcast. Coffee? I will listen to a podcast. I will see a YouTube video. I will read a book. I will do something that has information about how to build a better routine because that's where I struggle sometimes. So I'll do that and then I'm like, I need to do all of this, right? Like I take a no holds barred approach to it and I am like, I am going to radically take my morning routine and flip it on its head and I'm going to do all of these things and I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to accomplish all of this stuff before I go to work. And inevitably what I end up doing is I end up making this routine that is a radical change to my life, and I make it a few days, and then I trip up a little bit, and then I give up, and I end up failing on my morning routine because I tried to do too much too soon. See, the problem with routines is new habits take time to become habits, old habits take time to break habits. So when we try to say that we are going to create all of these new habits and break all of these habits all at the same time, it creates a big struggle because our natural instinct is to resist change. Routines are great because once your brain gets it and you have that routine, your brain is like, okay, this is good. I'm going to do this every day, right? This is what we do, right? Think about what time you start for work. Your brain knows at that time every day you have to start work. I recently changed my schedule. It's a half hour earlier than it used to be for work. At first I was like, ooh, got to get used to this new time. Now it's like, okay, 7:30, here we go. It's time to start work. So it's just a matter of getting your brain used to all of the changes. So you don't want to make a radical shift in your life, right? Maybe you want to make big changes in your life, but if you try to tackle everything all at once, inevitably, you're going to trip up, you're going to stumble, you probably are going to fail because you are doing it all at one time instead of giving your brain a chance to get used to the new changes. So, I have notes again. I'm trying to stay on task. I do have to start work shortly, so I'm staying on task this morning. So we talked about that. So here's my advice. Start with a simple plan. We are going to restructure your morning by changing one habit at a time. Slowly but surely, we are going to work on replacing bad habits with good habits because it's easier to replace a bad habit with something else than just try to get rid of a bad habit, right? So we're going to replace bad habits with good. We are going to restructure our morning one habit at a time, and we can do these things together. So here's an example. This is one I need to use, right? I want to wake up earlier, and I also want to stop using the snooze button. Those are two things that go together. Those are two activities that I can change at the same time. Another one would be that you want to eat a healthy breakfast. And then in your column of activities that you wanted to get rid of, all of those things that are taking away from your energy, remember those? You see that you want to avoid eating sugary pastries for breakfast, no more donuts in the morning. Well, if you want to avoid eating donuts in the morning, replace that by having a healthier breakfast. So these columns work together, and that's why I had you putting activities that align with your intentions and activities that you're doing that don't align with your intentions so that you can pair up some of these habits so that you can replace the bad habits with the good habits and you can start building a routine based on those habits. So here's an example of if you want to take one habit at a time. Maybe week 1, you focus on just getting up earlier. Right? That is part of your that's part of your new routine you want to build. So you're going to focus on getting up earlier. So for the first week, you've set your alarm back a half an hour and that is your focus. Just get your brain used to, hey, this is our new wake up time. Then maybe another habit you want to put in is drinking 8 ounces of water right when you get up. So after you've mastered getting up a half an hour earlier, now week 2, you're going to just add in that water. Maybe you put it right by the coffee pot or the tea kettle if you use a tea kettle. I do. I don't know if anybody else still has those. You sit it on your stove and whatever. Everybody uses the Keurig, I think, now. But, put that glass of water right next to the coffee pot. And then that way when you go out to make your coffee while it's brewing, drink the 8 ounces of water down, right? So that's another healthy habit that you're popping into your routine. Now remember, your routine does not have to be all about healthy habits, right? Maybe you are trying to start your morning calm and centered. So maybe that means that you are going to wake up to relaxing music. You are going to do a 15-minute yoga session. You are going to journal and meditate after that session. These routines are customized to you. I'm just giving you an example of a healthy habit routine because these are the things that are on my list of things to do. So I'm sharing my routine with you. But again, you're not meant to copy off my paper here. You're not meant to just duplicate my routine. You need to come up with a routine that works for you. So maybe week 3, you add in stretching in the morning. I desperately want to start exercising in the morning, but my body is out of habit with that. And so what I was trying to do before is I was trying to wake up earlier. I had this whole routine where I was like, I'm going to wake up an hour earlier. I was going to do an hour-long workout as soon as I woke up. I was going to not watch the news. I was not going to drink my coffee. I had everything that I normally do in the morning. I pretty much X'd all of that out, and I'm like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and slide this new routine in. It doesn't work that way. You can't just take everything, get rid of it and put something new in. So for me, it wasn't working, but I desperately want to start working out in the morning. So I'm going to start putting in a stretching session or a yoga session because I do like that in the morning. And I can drink my coffee while I'm still doing it. So I'm just saying that you want to take activities and layer them. So for instance, like I just said, week 1, I'm going to work on getting up earlier. Week 2, I can put that glass of water by the Keurig. So I drink that real quick before I have my coffee. Week 3, I'm going to put in that gentle stretching routine. And little by little, you are going to do what's called habit stacking because you are going to be placing one habit on top of another until you can build your complete routine of everything that you want. And then your body's not going to resist that routine because it's already used to all of those other activities. So you're not throwing 10 new things in, you're just throwing one more thing in. Just one thing. That's it. So I want you to review your list of activities. All of the things that you said that were aligning with your intentions and all of the things that were not aligning with your intentions. So the things that were aligning with your intentions, I want you to find opportunities where you can replace bad habits, so things in that one column, with things from the good habits column. So if you're trying to lose weight, I said this before, you're trying to eat a nutritious breakfast, you want to avoid eating sugary pastries, those opportunities go together. I used my example personally with that snooze button. I will conquer that snooze button. I'm not sure how yet, but I'm going to keep working on it. So I will conquer the snooze button, but that's my habit. So this is what I want you to do. We are going to create a routine of 5 activities. That's all I want you to do. I want you to look at your time frame that you said before about how much time you have in the morning. I want you to create a routine of 5 activities. These need to be 5 easy activities. Things that you can do that you can spend your first week working on just those 5 activities. So, waking up earlier. It's not necessarily going to be an easier thing for me, but I'm trying to wean myself off the snooze button. So instead of hitting the snooze button, I don't even want to tell you how many times I hit the snooze button. This is going to be embarrassing, but here we go, right? So instead of hitting the snooze button 5 times, yes, you heard that right, 5 times. Instead of hitting the snooze button 5 times, maybe I only hit it twice, or maybe I only let myself hit it 1 time. Again, this is a weaning off process. So I am going to wake up earlier. I can drink that water. That's something I can put into my routine. I'm going to listen to some music, do some gentle stretching, and maybe journal just a little bit because that does help me feel calm in the morning. I haven't put my list together, so I'm going to put my activities together, but 5 easy activities. I don't want this to be overwhelming. I don't want you to go ahead right now and go, this is my ideal morning routine, and put together this huge 2-hour-long routine that you need to do in the morning. Because again, if it's not what you're doing right now, your body's going to resist it. So pick 5 easy activities and create a morning routine out of that so that you can start working on that. Be gentle with yourself. You are not going to be perfect at this at first. So maybe the first 2 days you rock it, right? Like you wake up and you're like, this is great. And you do the routine perfectly. And then the third day, you hit that snooze button 3 times instead of 2 times. Don't give up on yourself, right? Like it is going to be hard and you are going to stumble along the way. Sometimes I use the example of when kids are learning to walk. If you've ever seen a child learning to walk, right? There is a ton of failure before they learn to walk. There is a lot of times that they don't even make it up on their feet before they fall back down. And then they'll make it up on their feet and they'll take, kind of a wobbly step and fall. And then the next day they can't even get back up on their feet again, right? Like it's an inconsistent learning process, but eventually they get up and they walk, right? It's not pretty. It doesn't happen like in one day where they're like, you know what? I was crawling yesterday. Today I think I'm going to walk. It doesn't happen that way. And that's how everything in your life you should be looking at it, right? You are not going to wake up tomorrow and run a marathon if you have not ran a 5K yet, right? It's just not going to happen. And so we have to be gentle with ourselves and take these step by step. You would never look at a baby who tried to get up on their feet for the very first time and they fall and be like, they're never going to walk. You might as well just quit now because it's not going to work. You're not going to do this walking thing. You're good at crawling. Just stay crawling, right? Like you never are going to walk. You'd never look at a baby and say that, but we easily look at our own lives and, if we stumble one time, we're like, you're never going to do that. So I don't even know why you're trying. Just stop doing that and go back to what you were doing because that's what's easier. If you want to make changes, you absolutely 100% can make changes. Be gentle with yourself, be patient, take it one step at a time. Do not be afraid of failure. It is going to happen, and that is where the growth begins because how you respond to those stumbles and those failures is what's going to pull you through. So that's your little TED Talk for the morning, right? I got a little motivational there, but I'm just super excited about you creating a routine that you absolutely fall in love with. A routine that motivates you to get out of bed, that energizes you, that when you get to that first step of your day of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, that you are in the state of mind that you wanted to be in, right? You're not rushed, you're calm, you're focused, you're energized, you're prepared. Whatever that state of mind is, you are there. And that's when you're really going to be like, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I do this before? This is perfect for me. So have a great Thursday, guys. Please, please, please do the work on this. It's only going to work if you actually do the work. So come up with your 5 simple, easy activities that you can do in the morning. Create that morning routine around those 5 activities and then crush it, right? Go through every morning and be like, did that. Boom. So that's my talk for you today. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. I will be back tomorrow. You got to do the work today because I'll be back tomorrow to tell you how you can take the morning routine you created and make it even better. So have a great day, guys.